Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. So in today's episode, quick update on what's going on in the market, and especially touching on that, are we in a AI bubble question? More specifically, some comments that were made out of China, more specifically from Alibaba. So let's discuss that. Also, special thanks to today's sponsor, FinChat. More on that in just a second. So Alibaba chairman warns of bubble in AI data center buildout. Alibaba chairman Joe Tsai says he's starting to see the beginning of some kind of bubble forming in the rush to build out AI data centers, especially in the United States. Speaking at HSBC's Global Investment Summit, Tsai cautioned that many projects are raising billions without secure customer demand and said he's worried about data center being built on speculation. I'm still astounded by the type of numbers that's being thrown around, he said. People are literally talking about $500 billion, several $100 billion. I don't think that's entirely necessary. People are investing ahead of the demand that they are seeing today, but they are projecting much bigger demand. Now, this might be a case of tell me you're behind without telling me, or there's something to it. I mean, it won't be the first time where we've seen companies overinvest and then, well, there will be a period of adjustment. But if you've been listening to all of the big events, if you've heard what's going on, especially at NVIDIA GTC, I mean, building out AI infrastructure, AI factories is going to be, well, needed. Because if we are going into a future where there will be more autonomous vehicles, there will be more robots, more AI factories, manufacturing is going to be, well, with lots of robots and lots of automations, then building these things today, I mean, especially if you look at the grand scale of things worldwide, it makes sense. Now, again, the $500 billion number that we've heard from Stargate, we know that that's the big number that got thrown around. But we know that that's a number that's going to start at a much lower one, right? It's up to $100 billion phase one, I believe. And then in the future, it might go up to $500 billion. I think that's the correct way, right? You build out phase one, and then if there is more demand, you are going to extend that project to up to $500 billion. Makes sense. Now, what's also quite interesting is that, well, if you look at this report right here from Morgan Stanley, CapEx on AI-driven cloud technology in China are expected to increase by 30% year over year in 2025 after recording 165% year over year growth in 2024, which could prove to be a boon for some global semiconductor companies. The rapid adoption of AI development in China could increase enterprise spending as DeepSeek has demonstrated it can reduce costs. Other than CSPs buying high-end AI computing chips, we believe that gaming graphics are good enough for many enterprises, together with some legacy components. We've been talking a little bit about that during the live streams. They continue by saying China is expected to account for about 10% of NVIDIA's data center segment for the quarter ending in April. That's down to about half of pre-export control levels, noted Morgan Stanley. That works out to around $4 billion or so of H20 in the quarter, a nice incremental source of revenue in what will likely be another transitional quarter. That's lower than some of the build numbers would suggest, which opens the door to potential upside. While NVIDIA will serve the Chinese market as long as it is able, it is our sense that management is much more focused on delivering Blackwell to US CSPs, with China not a large input in internal forecast. I would agree. What's also interesting is that I think Lisa Su was in China a couple of days or so ago, talking with their customers, with their partners. So interesting development for sure. But yeah, when you look at this, when you hear this, and then when you hear about the potential AI bubble, you might say, okay, maybe they're behind and they're trying to slow things down in the United States. One could say that could be one of the reasons. Now, as I've said in the past, I don't think there is an AI bubble in the market. I don't think so. I think in the public market, I don't think so. I think, yes, some companies are extremely overvalued. But if you say that, oh, there is a bubble overall, I don't think so. In the private sector, I think there is a big AI bubble. Because if OpenAI is worth between $260 to $340 billion, in the private market. But you have a company like Google, for example, that is worth $2.10 trillion, which means that OpenAI is worth 16% of Google. I mean, that to me does not make any sense. What does that make Gemini? Is Gemini worth $300 billion? So if Gemini alone is worth $300 billion, 16% of Google approximately, how much more would the whole company be worth? Like, it can't be just $2 trillion. So either Google is extremely mispriced or OpenAI is extremely overvalued. And that's where the bubble comes from, I believe. I think the bubble does come from all of these LLM players, GPT wrappers, whatever, in the private market. In the public one, I don't think so. Now, before continuing, I do want to say a special thank you for FinChat for sponsoring this video. You've seen FinChat a lot of times on my channel. Basically, they pop up each and every video. They don't sponsor every video. By the way, I just like using the service. If you don't know what FinChat is, I mean, this is a main overview of Microsoft, but FinChat as a whole, the whole platform here is a stock research platform that has complete financial data on all stocks globally. And the best part, and in this case, I will show you this in the charting section when we compare Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon. So the best part of FinChat for me is that they're only platform that tracks company-specific data points or KPIs, for example. So here, what we can see, I've put here Google Cloud revenue, Amazon's AWS revenue, and Microsoft Cloud revenue. So over the last, 4 years or so, what we can see here for Google Cloud revenue has grown at a compound annual growth rate of 35.5%. If we look at Amazon, that has grown at a compound annual growth rate of 24.3%, and Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Cloud at 26.8%. Yes, Microsoft Cloud as a whole, that's not just Azure, that is now reaching $151.9 billion in the last 12 months. AWS is at $107.5 billion, and Google Cloud $43.2 billion. And these are just some of the KPIs that you can look up for any of the companies right here: Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon. You can see it all. We've basically covered all of these companies already on the channel. So if you want to look for Amazon, physical stores, online stores revenue, third-party seller services, advertising, they've got it all. Or, I mean, all of these things that I have here by default: free cash flow, gross profit, forward PE, price to free cash flow, all of that can be done here in charting or in the financials here on FinChat. So if you want to try it out, there is a link down in the description below. All new users will get FinChat for free for 2 weeks. And if you like it, you want to upgrade, use the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get 15% off. You're helping yourself out and you're helping myself and the channel out as well. So thank you very much for sponsoring this video and thank you for trying it out. Oh, and by the way, today, Tuesday, was another good day, I would say. Markets were reddish, green, but all in all the big companies other than NVIDIA down flat-ish. All the rest here still green. Tesla up again 3.5% to now $287.99. And even AMD is closing in at that $115 mark. So yeah, up more than 15% in the last, week plus or so. Pretty good performance. Continuing here on the AI front, but more specifically on the Intel front. So Intel CEO plan may focus on design, getting NVIDIA Broadcom as foundry customers, according to UBS. We think the plan in the near term is to emphasize Intel's design and foundry capabilities to try to get NVIDIA or Broadcom over the finish line with a foundry commitment, continue to work on 18A and push aggressively to get a lower power version of 18A, 18AP to market that will be more attractive to customers than 18A has been. The analyst said that NVIDIA may be closer to being an Intel foundry customer than Broadcom, with Jensen Huang-led company likely consider the use of Intel's 18A manufacturing process for gaming. However, power consumption remains a big hurdle. Now, we are going to hear about Lip-Bu Tan in about a week and a half or so. March 31st and April 1st, there is Intel Vision. So Intel Vision 2025 goes beyond technology to deliver exclusive insights, strategic connections, and real solutions. We'll explore how enterprise-ready AI, cloud, and edge solutions are driving efficiency, cost optimization, and security today, while looking ahead to AI as a service, hybrid cloud, and next-gen architecture shaping enterprise strategy. Through interactive discussions, advisory panels, and networking will foster collaboration, ensuring our innovations align with real-world challenges and industry needs. It's going to be the first time we're going to really hear about Intel's new CEO, what he's going to be focused on in 2025 and onwards, more specifically, of course, the design side of things, foundry side of things. So it's going to be quite crucial, so keep an eye out on that. March 31st, April 1st. One last thing here, that's on Apple. So apparently, Apple is officially in the large server cluster Gen AI game, and SMCI and Dell are the key server partners, according to Loop Capital. Their work suggests that Apple's latest Siri kerfuffle may be compelling a bit of a strategy shift internally, and that Apple is in the process of placing orders for around $1 billion of NVIDIA's GB300 and VL72, or around 250 servers at $3.7 to $4 million each, comprised of both SMCI and Dell. While we are still gathering fuller context, this appears to have the potential to be a Gen AI LLM cluster, and for what it's worth, our initial work suggests that a contributing factor to Siri's ongoing issues may have been Apple's proclivity to use AI machine learning versus Gen AI. It appears that our latest work could represent a shift in Apple's thinking towards using Gen AI versus AI machine learning. I mean, to be honest, when you look at Apple, biggest company by market cap, I think still, and you're reading this, you're like, how is this possible? Why are we reaching this stage where Apple basically literally did an Intel? If we're being honest, they did an Intel when it comes to Gen AI. Okay, this news came out, this report came out. It's a report right now. It's not news or confirmed. It's just $1 billion as well. Would make sense, and maybe that's why Siri is delayed. So, okay, here's the information. And so overall, to conclude, is there an AI bubble? I don't think there is an AI bubble in the public markets, in public stocks, for example. Like I said at the start, some stocks are overvalued, but I think if you look at the Magnificent Seven, I don't think you can tell me that, or convince me, should I say, that those are overvalued at the moment. An OpenAI, even an XAI, all of those companies, yes, I really don't see why they should be worth hundreds of billions of dollars or close to it, to be honest. So all in all, that's about it. Do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, do all of that. Would really appreciate it. Check out FinChat down in the description and in the pinned comment, and I see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.